Hi, Namaskar. Today we have the honor of having with us a truly inspiring individual, that is Sonia Ahuja, a successful C-level executive, visionary leader, and world-class elite ultra-marathon runner. Sonia has made history and broken barriers in various domains, and Sonia's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Notably, Sonia's most recent accomplishment is truly remarkable. She became the first female of Indian origin to complete the Badwater Ultra Marathon, which is considered the world's toughest foot race. Enduring extreme temperatures and challenges, she not only finished the race as the second fastest woman, but also ranked fourth overall. Let's welcome the incredible Sonia Ahuja. Hi, Sonia, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, and pleasure is all ours. So let's talk about your journey from a small town in India to becoming a successful C-level executive and a world-class ultra-marathon runner.
Sure, yeah. As you said, I grew up in India, first of all, born and brought up there, spent 25 years, in Gurgaon, northern part of India. I grew up in a very, I will say, lower middle class family. Both my parents were teachers, and a lot of focus during growing up was on getting good grades, honestly, and making sure, we focus on academics. Led a very typical, middle class kind of life in India. I would say I always wanted to kind of do something different. That's all I knew. I didn't know what exactly that meant. I just had a little bit more, ambitions. So when I first graduated in India, I did my master's in computer applications. I decided to come to United States for my first job. So ended up actually being in New York, got my first IT job there, was a developer. And that's how I came to United States.
Absolutely. Sonia, going through all your bio, I think your journey is truly remarkable. And I would want you to share with us the factors that helped you overcome challenges and pursue your dreams.
Sure. I think looking back, as I said, when I first came here, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I had this always aspiration to do something that inspires people, especially women. I would say I was very passionate about making sure that women get the equal rights. You see so many examples, right, by growing up where things probably are not equal. You don't have same level of resources and access that women get. So that was a very kind of near and dear to my heart to make sure that, wherever I go and whatever I do, I keep that in perspective. So I had, desire to be a C-level executive from very get-go, and I worked hard. I got my MBA from United States, decided to kind of pursue the career path. And throughout the journey, I would say I was very fortunate to surround myself with people who believed in me. And that was one of the, key success factor for me is making sure you have the support structure and people who believe in you and encourage you. And I had both on my professional front as well as when I started running. I had extremely supportive running community that gave me all different tips and suggestions and helped me kind of continue to get better. I would also say that running for me didn't start until very late in my life. I remember taking my first job as chief strategy officer for a public and private equity owned company, and that was a stressful job. And that was the first time I felt that I was suffering, like my health was suffering because I was taking too much work pressure, and I just needed like an outlet. And I felt that running was the easiest outlet just because I was traveling a lot, and what does running needs? All you need is a pair of running shoes, and you can be anywhere literally. and start running. So that's how I got into running, because it was a good outlet for me when I was kind of getting a lot more bogged down with my job. And I would notice that as soon as I would come back from run, I'm like so much more relaxed. I could think clearly, I could problem solve issues that were sounding really big issues before the run suddenly didn't look as big. So that's really made me believe that running is not just for your physical fitness, not just to lose weight or maintain weight, but it also helped me become a better professional, better mom, and just better overall individual.
So I would say that, work was the trigger point where, you decided, hey, I need to do something for myself. I need to maybe start running, which you found was the easiest thing to do. And now let's talk about the Badwater Ultramarathon, which is known for its extreme conditions and difficulty. And yet you not only completed the race, but you achieved an exceptional ranking. So now my question to you is, what motivated you to take, such a challenging event? And how did you keep pushing yourself forward during I'm sure you had low points while running too.
Yeah, it's a great question. My running journey involved not too many long runs before Badwater. So I would say I'm a little bit outlier in the sense, like I loved running, as I said, more as my mental health and well-being. And what I started to notice before I signed up for Badwater was that as I was running more, I would get more energy. So I didn't feel that typical feeling of fatigueness or tiredness as much. Of course, it's challenging, and your body probably is going through a lot of physical stress as you're running, especially as I started to increase my mileage. But mentally, I was getting stronger and fresh and wanted to do more. So then what happened was my friends started to notice, how I was, especially post-COVID, I had extra time. I started to, run a lot more longer distance every day. And someone mentioned Badwater to me, and it was sometime last year. And I had not heard about Badwater because I'm just not a race person. So I searched up on the internet, and the first thing that stood out to me was that not many women, especially South Asian women, has even completed Badwater. And just like I think about anything in my life, it's like, why would women not have done it? So it was a lot of curiosity that first started me to be curious about what would it take for any woman to do Badwater, and why not was my question. And then soon, I remember from the time I started to do this research, first day I heard, within 30 days, I had made up my mind that this is something I want to do. One, for myself, but more importantly, also to make sure that people get the message that women can do anything, and anything is possible. So that's how kind of my preparation or my desire to run Badwater began. After that, I learned that it was a really, really difficult process to get into Badwater. I contacted the race director, and he shared with me how difficult this process is. So I had to run 300 milers at a good, and these are not any three, like they have to be at certain difficulty level and extreme races. So honestly, I was so I had this fire in my belly to really do it. So I ended up signing 300 milers just in 1 year, within a span of 100 days, I would say.
Wow.
I ran and ended up winning 2 of the 3 races. One as an overall winner in Miami, 100 was my first, I think. Then I went to Brazil, ran another 135, was a woman champion. And that gave me confidence that, if I could go international runs like Brazil and win that race, and I came back saying, why not Badwater? Why settle for a lower bar? So I started really, planning to put my best effort. I didn't have any expectation for podium or any results per se, but my hope was that I train really well and I put myself out and just see what happens and hope for the best.
You know what, I think, especially when I was reading about you, I really was very proud about all that you have accomplished. And I honestly feel all the South Asians, whosoever know about it, definitely are proud of it. So, as a C-level, you are a successful C-level executive. You have led companies through growth, transformation, and turnarounds. How has your experience in ultra marathons influenced your leadership style and approach to managing challenges in the business world?
That's a good question. As I said, one of the reasons why I started running because I was seeing the impact of my running on my professional life and how I was getting better, even in my professional life. And I actually recently wrote an article, which draw the similarities between ultra running and any endurance sports for that matter and business. And I approach almost both the same way. And there's so many learnings from ultra running that I apply on my day-to-day business. The most important one I would say, if I have to state, is really being resilient and not quitting. So whenever I establish goals, whether it's in corporate life, it's a turnaround, companies making money and we have to make it more profitable. I try to not. I try to put my best effort in breaking that big problem down into pieces and taking a baby steps. And then really the second part is self accountability and making sure that once you establish that big goal or have a dream, you're executing. So I tend to focus a lot more than on discipline and self accountability and execution. So yeah, I think I learned a lot from Badwater experience, my other races. Part of that is staying resilient and having that right mindset where you just continue to put one step ahead of you and not give up. And that's what I did at Badwater and was pleased with the results.
Sonia, your passion for championing women's equality definitely is inspiring. So, how do you envision breaking barriers and promoting gender diversity in the workplace? And what steps can your organization take to create a more inclusive environment?
Yeah, I think of mostly when I think about the gender diversity as first and foremost, I think women have to not settle with a lower bar. Like, right, sometimes we get easily in a mindset where we end up compromising or too many sacrifices, right? And although all that is important, we have family to take care of and we have business and so many other priorities. I think self-investing in your own, whether it's health, happiness, whatever makes one happy and healthy, is extremely important. So for me, early on, I learned that for me, that's how I was getting my happiness and joy is investing time in my running. So I had to prioritize. Prioritization is the key. So my advice, first of all, for women would be find what makes you happy and positive and self-confident and invest that time. And on the work front, I do the same. Now I am involved with many women organization on the business front. I really encourage women to aspire for more, dream big, not settle, and then be self accountable and prioritize actions that need to be taken to achieve those goals. And then really the last part of that is having the support structure. We can help each other. I talk to a lot of women and I encourage people to seek help and not being afraid to saying you're learning something new and you need help. And, there's so many people that are willing to help and support if you ask for that.
I'm sure you do mentor a lot of people too.
Yes, I have good mentors who mentor me too. It goes both ways, absolutely.
Wonderful. And just while you were talking, and I was thinking that you have achieved incredible success in both your professional and athletic life. So how do you balance these two demanding aspects of your life? And what advice would you give to individual, especially women out there? You know how women are. They are like, they try to focus first. No, ghar ka kaam karna hai. That is more important. Then baki sab karenge. So what would you want to tell them?
Yeah, it's not easy. I would say as a woman, I have to say that has been a challenge. I think you have to almost think of your own time and happiness as equally important than, when you spend time for your family. So what I tend to do, what has worked for me, is I would put, whether it's my runs or time going to gym, or even some, women gatherings, right, that I like to do just to kind of learn from others. I would put those on calendar and not let that kind of fall off or other priorities come and cancel those. So for me, they stand on my calendar as equal as any business meetings. Once I put them on my calendar, and then sure, there are times when you have just things, deadlines and deliverables and whatnot. So I would say I take baby steps rather than doing 10 miles a day. That day I would do 2 5-milers. So I'll try to squeeze whatever time I can. I'll go in the morning, be busy at work day long, and then try to get another run in the evening. But I think my main message is, don't give up just because there are other priorities. Take baby steps, because the most important thing is being consistent and being able to make progress. Because once you start to see the results of that, whether it's on your mental well-being, happiness, or on your physical fitness, you start to realize the importance of that, and then ultimately you'll end up prioritizing that, right? So yeah, priorities is the key. I also have a very supportive family. That's the important part. Like, I've had there used to be a time when I would not share these things with my family because it was like too much, right? So I used to keep it to myself and just go for runs. But now I actually like to have these conversations with my family upfront about what makes me happy and what priorities are. So they have been able to kind of support me when I needed them. So that goes a long way.
Sonia, I just love your key message that nothing is impossible and anything is possible, definitely with grit, determination, and resilience, and which is, it's truly empowering. So, any other advice you would want to give to individuals, who may be facing challenges and, doubting their capabilities?
Yeah, I think, if you were to ask me, even 10 years ago, I would have run Badwater with this kind of pace and performance. I would say you would completely out of your mind, right? But what I did learn is that, as I said, once you start to establish a dream or goals, then the execution becomes really important. So I would say, I would really encourage any woman to not get disheartened or think you are any less. There's been so many, not just me, there have been so many other ultra runners like Courtney Walter, amongst many, who have shown that actually we can be much better runner. And she's been running like many races where she's winning overall. So whether it's running or there are other aspects of your life or any other hobby, I would say don't settle for less. Dream big, establish those goals, and then work towards that, and don't give up. Don't let other obstacles come in your way, and just problem solve those obstacles and continue to make progress.
Beautifully said, Sonia. You have become a role model for many, breaking stereotypes and pushing boundaries. So, what legacy do you hope to leave, and how do you aim to inspire future generation of Indian women?
Yeah, I think I would continue to learn and grow. And I'm doing that now. I'm thinking about what my next steps are. And I tend to think of taking things that are difficult to do. So, I'm one of those people who likes to do things that are out of your comfort zone. And is, you can fail, and that's the worst part, right? Worst case. But you learn so much from those failures and then apply next time and continue to get better. So my hope is that me personally, I would like to continue that journey of learning and self-developing and getting better. Even if that means there will be some certain setbacks when you dream big, you would always have that. But I also create the environment around me. I want to both at the business front, even, I have a 16-year-old daughter. So in my family, where women are encouraged to do anything and everything and not being afraid, and have courage to go for things that require you to be courageous and fearless. And if you fall down, learn from that, get up, and do it one more time.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Wishing you all the best, and thank you for sharing your incredible journey, and which was really, really inspiring to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.